Hey everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Jake Talks Star Wars. It is Sunday, October 26th, and we are still somehow talking about Ben Solo and Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh and the movie that never was. Um, this whole idea, this whole news that dropped last week has grabbed the Star Wars community and will not let go, it seems. People are enthralled with this idea. They are thrilled with this idea. Now, you get some people who are not so happy with it, some people who are a little lukewarm on it, but I feel like there's just a massive amount of people who are really, really happy with this idea and really, really thrilled with it. And it's interesting to watch all of this unfold. Remember, just a quick recap, Adam Driver, Steven Soderbergh, director, came up with this concept for a movie about Ben Solo set post The Rise of Skywalker, and it was called The Hunt for Ben Solo. And they had this concept. They pitched the concept to Lucasfilm. Kathleen Kennedy, the vice president, and Kathleen Kennedy, the president, the vice president, Dave Filoni, everybody loved it so much they hired a scriptwriter. One of the same scriptwriters who helped write Rogue One. They hired a scriptwriter to write a script. I'm hearing on other podcasts and other shows. I haven't verified it or seen the primary source myself, but other people are saying that there's concept art floating around somewhere. Somebody has created concept art for this that we haven't seen. That's probably in the archives somewhere or something like that. So they spent money on this, right? Like Lucasfilm spent money on this. They sent discretionary funds or whatever it is they have to make this kind of stuff. They spent money on this, and then they pitched it to Bob Iger, and Bob Iger didn't get it. He says, no, we're not doing it. And this fits in with a lot of criticism that we see from Disney, or that we see about Disney when it comes to the management of Star Wars. Other channels have said it. I'm not repeating anything new or treading any new ground, but I definitely agree with other channels. They're reactionary, right? They say, oh, everybody hated that Palpatine coming back, so we're not doing that again. We're not doing that no matter how much it makes sense, no matter how many Oscar-winning actors or Oscar-nominated actors are on the script, no matter how many really good directors are on the script. We're not doing anything like that because last time we tried it, nobody liked it. Everybody was mad about it. And that's not true. Not nobody liked it. Not everybody was mad about it. Really loud people didn't like it. Really loud people didn't like it. Really loud people didn't like it. Really loud people were mad about it. So it's not true that everybody didn't like it, but I digress, right? Loud people kind of overshadow the rest of us sometimes. But so the movie didn't get made. We've learned a lot more about it this week. Apparently it was like I said, they spent a lot of money on it. And what's been really interesting to me is kind of watching how the fandom, how the Star Wars fan community has really latched onto this, and how big the group of people that has latched onto this has become. And that's really, really interesting to me. I'm a little bit older. I saw the prequels in theaters, right? I was the right age to see the prequels in theaters. So like those are, they're not my introduction to Star Wars. My introduction to Star Wars was the original trilogy on VHS, and then in theaters for the re-release. And that's my introduction to Star Wars, right? And then I was the right age. I was in like late elementary, middle school when the early high school when the prequels came out in theaters. And so I was the right age to see all of those in theaters and to buy the toys, to get the young reader books, all that stuff. So the prequel era is really kind of my jam. Was for a long time. But for a lot of fans, the sequels are the movies they saw in theaters, the first movies they saw in theaters. And for a lot of them, the sequels are the movies that's their movies, right? That's their Star Wars. And so there's so many people out there who have this trilogy, and it's their Star Wars, just like the original trilogy was yours or the prequel trilogy was mine. The sequel trilogy is what got them into Star Wars, and the hope that the characters that they love are going to continue on in more stories is really incredible for them. It's just like you or I. It's like us older Star Wars fans. We wanted to see more Luke Skywalker, or people my age who saw the prequels. We're getting to see Hayden come back. We got to see Ewan come back for the Kenobi series. We got to see Hayden come back for Kenobi and for Ahsoka, right? So we're getting that. And fans of the sequel trilogy want that too. They want their characters back. They want Ben Solo back. They want Rey back. So I think it's important for a lot of people, and that's part of the reason why I've been so interested to see how they react. And boy howdy, people want this. Somebody wants it, right? You guys have all seen social media. You've seen the plane flying around Disney headquarters with the banner behind it, #Save Ben Solo, right? You've seen the billboards in Hollywood and everything. Nothing's really gone. For Adam, all these things like supporting Adam Driver, supporting this idea of a Ben Solo movie. There's petitions going around on social media. There is tons of social media engagement about this Ben Solo thing. Like, I have made several posts about just me commenting on this Ben Solo idea this week, and they've gotten more traction than anything else I've ever posted since I started this channel, since I started those social pages for this channel. The Ben Solo stuff has gotten more traction than anything else. People really care about this character and want to see this character do more. So it got me thinking. I was thinking about it. I was like, we'll never really know. We'll probably never really know what the script was and what the story was. But the more I think about it, and the more I kind of ruminate on it, I was talking with my wife about it. I was talking with a friend about it. There's a lot of possibilities for this movie. I mean, they wanted to do it cheap. That's one of the things Adam mentioned. He wanted to do it fairly inexpensively. And I mean, think about it. Like, this movie, and Adam Driver likes making different types of movies. If you look at his catalog, the Star Wars movies are really the only big, huge action movies he makes. He made that one, that 65 million BC, that kind of space traveler dinosaur movie. It was pretty cool, but that's the nearest to like a big budget movie that he's made since Star Wars. Most of his other stuff has been smaller, more intimate type stories. And what if The Hunt for Ben Solo was that? I mean, we've introduced the world between worlds, right? We've introduced the world between worlds. We've introduced the fact that in the Ahsoka series, Ahsoka is defeated in battle and she wakes up in the world between worlds, and she ends up getting coached from Anakin for a whole episode. I mean, think about this. That Ben Solo movie could have been 2 hours of Ben Solo and Anakin Skywalker, Hayden Christensen, going back and forth, talking about, doing flashbacks and saying, no, here's where you got it wrong. And Anakin, is saying, no, you were wrong to deify Darth Vader. You were wrong to focus on Darth Vader, and here's where you made the mistakes, and here's what you don't understand, right? So Anakin offering that kind of guidance in the world between worlds. You could even bring Mark Hamill back as Luke to offer similar guidance. Say, no, here's what you got wrong. Here's the two of us telling you this and this and this. So most of the movie could have been something very small and intimate like that, like verbiage between the two of them. And then you cut to the real world, and it's Rey searching for Ben Solo, feeling like he's not actually gone, right? Because they've got the dyad thing going, and she's searching for him, trying to find where he is. And then the movie ends with her discovering him back into the world, right? Could be that. Or it could be he stays dead, right? It could be he stays dead and he goes through this process with Luke and with Anakin in the world between worlds, and he's now gone through this process. He's learned how to manifest as a Force ghost, and he manifests and talks to Rey at the end. But he's still gone. He's still dead. So just because the movie's about him doesn't mean he's coming back to life, doesn't mean he's coming back to the physical world. There's that possibility. There's all sorts of, I mean, like, the possibilities are endless. You know, Star Wars is fantasy, so they can really do whatever they want. But that's an idea that I was thinking about. So, wow, that would be really cool. And again, talking about Star Wars fans and what they want to see, you know, you build a script like that, a really intimate script that is a smaller story, it probably pretty darn cheap, right? You got main actors like Adam Driver, Mark Hamill, Hayden Christensen working together, probably pretty cheap. Not a huge amount of special effects that we're not already used to, nothing earth-shattering, but it wouldn't be what people expect, right? People, when they go to the theater for a Star Wars movie, expect this big, grand spectacle. So there'd have to be something else. But, I mean, that's the point. The point is we don't know, right? That's my idea of what we could have gotten, of what we could have seen. I think it's super cool. I would love that idea. Even if it's just Ben Solo in the netherworld of the Force, in the world between worlds, coming to terms with everything he's done in his life and being coached by Anakin and by Luke to become this Force ghost, and then he talks to Rey at the end as a Force ghost and never actually does come back. I think that would be pretty cool. And I think it would, you know, remove a lot of the criticism that people have for this movie and this franchise of just bringing people back from the dead. Are we going to get a solo movie, a Ben Solo movie? I don't think so. I would be shocked if Iger backpedals and says we're going to do a Ben Solo movie now instead, or we're going to add another Ben Solo movie. I would be kind of shocked if that happens. However, I think there's a lot of possibility that because of the popularity of this idea, that the Rey movie that's already greenlit, that the Rey movie might get reworked again, because apparently it's been reworked a lot. Apparently it's got a lot of issues. They've kind of went through a couple different writers, a couple different scripts, and there's other behind the scenes kind of issues. I think Daisy Ridley has some kind of chronic illness that makes it difficult for her to work, like a lot. So they've had some issues with the script and with everything else. I can see where they may take some ideas from the Rey movie and take some ideas from this Ben Solo movie and kind of work them together and rework that Rey movie into something a little bit bigger than just Rey. I think that's probably the best possibility. Whether or not people are going to be happy with that, whether or not people are going to be, you know, whether or not it's going to be like another Frankenstein situation where it's like we had two good ideas, we didn't want to do both of them, so we just mash them together and now it's not a good idea anymore. I hope that's not the case, but I think if we're going to see Ben Solo again, I think that's probably the most likely thing, right? And then if we're thinking about 3D chess, if we're thinking about conspiracy theories, maybe that's what all of this is, right? Maybe that's what all this is about, where Disney has decided they want to include Ben Solo in that, and they're going to strategically drop this kind of news or get Adam to drop this kind of news to build up that fervor and get people on board with that. You know, who knows? But, I mean, it could work. You know, it could work. And the timing works out well. I mean, they'd have plenty of time to work on it, plenty of time to get it done. It's 2025 now. We've already got a Star Wars movie next year. We've got Grogu and Mandalorian in 2026. We've already got a Star Wars movie set for 2027 in the Starfighter movie with Ryan Gosling. So we already got the next 2 years spoken for in Star Wars movies, especially if they're going to stick to the idea of only doing one theatrical release a year, which I think is smart and I think it's wise. If they want to rework the Rey movie, that could easily be done if they actually start filming it, if they settle on a script and start filming it, that could be done by 2028, right? You got 2 years to get that done. So that could be done by 2028, then 2029, maybe we get that Mandoverse wrap-up movie that Filoni is supposed to be working on. Then 2030, maybe James Mangold gets us that Dawn of the Jedi movie. 2031, we get Rey and Kylo, a sequel to that. Who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless. But the point of this film, of this video is, people really love Ben Solo. and really like Adam Driver, and they really want to see his story continued. So, what's going to happen? Is the story going to continue? Is it going to keep going? I don't know. I would like it to. I think there's definitely a lot of really cool, really great possibilities for that story to continue. And I think that, yeah, I think it's a lot of really great story potential, really great ideas, potential, everything else that I think would be valuable for the Star Wars fans and for fans of the sequel trilogy, especially to keep them engaged and keep them around. So that's my thoughts. That's my 2 cents on it. Hope everybody has a great day. Let me know what you think. What do you think? Do you want to see a Ben Solo movie? Do you want to see a Ben Solo standalone movie? Do you want to see the Rey movie kind of reworked into a Rey/Ben Solo movie? Do you want to see a standalone thing? Are you just tired of this stuff in general and want something else entirely? What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Give me a shout on socials. I'm on Instagram, Threads. So give me a shout on the socials, Jake Talk Star Wars. Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, thanks for coming by, guys. Thanks for listening. And take care of each other out there. And as always, may the Force be with you.